to Mindfulness Collective. This right here, right now, is the joy of being a live stream coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York, folks. Very delightful to be here with you today. Today is Freaky Friday. We are going to make up our own brand new meditation, one that's never been done before, and see where we go. Okay, folks, hit me with where are you at? What are you grateful for? I saw a jazz concert last night. It was fun. It was a good time. Hopefully you had a good time last night as well. Oh, the chat is turned off. Thank you. Chat on. There we go. Amuse Dave from Lithuania. Dave, what are you grateful for? That's what I want to know. Maybe we should switch the direction of the chat if we're going to do a reverse chat thingy doodle. Okay, so hit me with where you at. What are you grateful for? I'm going to reverse the direction of this chat box. Oh, there you go. Okay, great. Folks, nice to be here with you. I'm excited for today. It's going to be a little bit of a slightly shorter one. I have therapy, actually, coming right after this. So we're in great shape. Okay. Is there a way to switch to that? Okay. So, folks, hit me with where are you at? What are you grateful for? And we're going to go from there. And then what else? I guess there's no way to. I don't think you can do that. 0 seconds. Okay. No, I guess there's no way to do what I was just trying to figure out if we can do. Okay. Anyway, folks, great to be here with you. I don't know why the chat just disappeared. Maybe it's because I went into the chat box. Save settings. Sure. Alert box. Okay. I don't know why the chat just disappeared, but it did. Grateful for delicious food. Let's see if it reappears. Okay, the letter D appeared. Great. Folks, okay, so we're going to meditate here for 25 minutes. I have an idea of what we could do as a meditation, but it's Freaky Friday, so you are welcome to hit me with suggestions, ideas, challenges, interests, opportunities, comments, or life concerns, and I can create a meditation that's never existed before, and then we'll go from there. Oh, this isn't showing. There we go. Transition. Hello. Hello, world. So, what is up, folks? I guess we're just starting out a little chill, and we're going to jump into meditation for 25 minutes. Meditation I was thinking we might do, if there's any matcha here, I'll take it. I was thinking we might do would be focused on something I did with a student yesterday, which was basically toggling between awareness which is everywhere and then awareness which feels like it is, that feels like we're coming from the perspective of a self and then going out from there. So that's what I've been doing recently. Interest. P.S. I'm basically in trouble. I have this course starting very soon. Hello, Music. I made a mistake and I feel deep regret. I just want it to disappear, the feelings. Okay, great. Well, that's actually a great place to start. Would that relate I think it might be directly related to what I just talked about. Yes. Okay. So far that fits perfectly with what I just talked about. So, oh yeah, I'm in trouble because this course is starting very soon, and what I have not done, unfortunately, is really laid out everything we need to do in the course, all of the learning objects, so they're called learning objects, which order they come in. I have it from previous ones, so I can still do it the way we've done it before, but I tend to be a little perfectionistic, and I want everything to be sort of new and fresh and like the best version of things that it can be. So that's something I need to do. And so what that will mean is once I do that, our meditations on the stream for a while are going to be very, we have to record X every time. And so it'll be a little less crazy. So now we get to pick some crazy stuff and do it together, and then we'll go from there. So folks, find a nice, comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. I know folks are playing around with different postures, but as you're jumping in here, finding something that you can, a way that you can sit. I'm sitting on a cushion on the couch, so I'm not just on the couch, I'm actually on a cushion so that my knees can be lower than my hips. I'm sitting at the edge of the cushion, and we're going to go from there. Find that nice comfortable position that you can maintain. We're going to practice for 25 minutes. I'm going to encourage you to stay entirely still during that time. And then we'll go from there. Let's see. Let's not, nope, I don't need that. Wrong, ring, zing. Zing, zang, nope. Bebop, bop, bebop, bop. Okay. Here we go. Got it. Nope, nope. Where is... Oh, here we go. Timer. Okay. I was looking for the one with the timer. Okay, so folks, we're going to meditate here for 25 minutes. We're going to be doing a whole part meditation. And... yeah, okay. So Dave, for you, and this is for anyone else who has any specific parts that are arising. First, I usually don't describe what I'm going to do before I do it, because I often will freestyle and change things, but I found that can be really helpful beforehand to get a little bit of understanding of what we're planning on doing. So, what was I going to say? Okay, so the general plan here is that we're going to start with a whole part meditation, and we're going to be sort of resting in the whole. And then we're going to switch and find any part of us that feels disconnected, so any self, any sort of, the part that feels the regret, right, is going to, we're going to occupy that part, let it be our self. And then we're going to reach out to the kind of awareness outwards, basically in the same way that we were taking any part and we're sort of letting it see the whole. We're going to recognize we, in that moment, are a part, and we feel a part. We feel separate from. A little linguistic trick there. So we feel apart from, and so we're going to feel a part of. And in this structure of meditation, traditionally, might be called prayer, where we're actually sort of reaching outwards to something that feels like it's bigger than us. No, we don't have to worry about praying to what or whatever. We're meditating with kind awareness, but it can be helpful to actually think of that it's almost like a thing outside of ourselves that we're reaching out to and sort of allowing to come in. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, and we're going to explore that, and it'll be a great time. Oh my goodness, it's going to be such a good time. So folks, find that nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. Take your final sips of your novelty-sized glass of water. And when you're ready, we will begin. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths, just feeling the body rise and fall. Each time we begin meditation, we begin with the momentum of all of the previous moments. So finding the speed of the mind. We do this by just observing some sensations and noticing what the mind does. So we'll be sweeping through the body to be sure we're not holding any undue tension, and noticing, can the mind stay with these sensations clearly, without any agitation, without break, continuously through time, or is the mind agitated or foggy? None of these are bad, they're just nature, but we want to have a sense of which we're experiencing. So let's start at the top of the head. Relax the brow. Relax the muscles behind the eyes. Letting that relaxation spread to the face, to the back of the tongue, letting the back of the tongue relax back into the throat. Letting the jaw go slack, no need to hold it closed. Letting that relaxation in the throat spread down to the neck, to the shoulders, to the arms, and to the hands, tuning into the subtle sensations in the palms of the hands, tips of the fingers. Noticing the natural tightening and relaxing of the upper chest and upper back as the breath comes and goes. No need to control the breath. Relaxing the belly and the lower back. The hips and the upper legs. The knees and calves. Relaxing the ankles and relaxing the feet. And tuning into all of the body sensations as one large collective. And opening up once more to all sensation, everything we can detect in this moment. You'll notice that the mind will either try to put every little piece together. This is quite impossible. Or the mind will open to awareness and just take in everything as one soft cloud of sense data. That's the one we're looking for. Just an overall soft picture of everything in this moment. No need to reach for anything extra, just whatever is present. And we're going to rest in this overall experience. Of course, because this is more spacious, less detailed or specific, the mind can get a little foggy, so noticing the crispness, the precisely thisness of this overall experience, and each time we notice that, we can label it in the mind as whole. Of if we're familiar with this practice, we can develop our practice by staying with that whole completely and continuously, merging with that totality in a way that is unbroken over time. Of course, because we're spending time in and hanging out with this overall experience, distraction will come in the form of parts and pieces, not the totality. So if we're distracted, let's say suddenly the mind is drawn to the sensations of the left hand, it's not a problem. This is just the mind doing its natural duty of dividing the world into pieces. So we simply label anything that is not the whole part. So in this case, we are, let's say, distracted by the sensations of the left hand. If so, bringing in the sensations that surround it, the sensations of where the hand is resting, of the arm, of the sounds that are around the hand, mental images related to the hand. Just letting all of this data become included until we find our way back to the whole. So we're not jumping so quickly, oh, I found a part, now I'm going to whip back to the overall experience. We're getting there slowly. We're making the transition slowly and seeing the mind shift from part to whole. This is the important transition. Watching the mind move from something it sees as a particle, as a part, watching it slowly dissolve edges, different details, until it finds its way back to the overall. Once we get there, we can label that as whole. So in the mind, it might sound something like whole, whole, part, whole. You get the idea. See if we can merge more deeply with the overall. Let go of any edges. Allow consciousness to become, to directly connect without any distance with this overall experiencing. With crispness and clarity. perhaps recognizing and seeing that this overall experience is restful. It's not asking anything of us. So much of our lives can feel like we're on. We wake up in the morning and it feels like we're immediately thrust into all sorts of flows of momentum and tasks. So notice how untask-oriented this overall experience is. How free it is of needing us to be anyone, needing the world to be away. It simply takes in anything, everything. Distraction will likely take the form of a part, so if we find we become distracted, simply using our formula, recognizing this part, and discovering what is it part of. Being sure that we're including any self, any sense of me or I, any parts of us, any of these internal drives, including these as parts, not forgetting that the, quote, observer is something that is separate from the whole. So being sure to allow that into the whole. Allow that part to melt and find its way into the overall experience, this spacious, welcoming awareness. Now I'd like us to make a slight shift. I'd like us to allow ourselves to find some part, some self. It could be the self that we're most familiar with, we tend to use to manage our day-to-day life, or it could be a part of us that is challenged, the part that feels overwhelmed or feels judgment, the part that judges. Letting it become us, seeing through its eyes, feeling its feelings. Again, if we begin to feel overwhelmed, we can pull back from the meditation or even stop. What this will tend to do is give us a sense of a center, a middle. This is me in the middle, and the world is out there. So whenever we are identified in this way, it can feel challenging to find awareness, find the overall experience. And the mind can think the only way we can get there is to make a model of it, to imagine it. But in this case, I'd like you to let yourself be in the middle, the center of this seemingly separate self. Every self, by its nature, tends to believe that it is separate. There's me, and then there's the world out there. So we're going to allow this self to open up and reach out in all directions, in front of, above, beside, below, behind. Opening to this awareness that it doesn't have contact with, or maybe only has a little contact with. This part likely experiences itself as being separate, so separate from what? So previously we were resting in the whole, finding any parts and introducing them to the whole, and in this case we are occupying the seat, the experience of a part, a self. Often when we're overwhelmed, this is where we find ourselves, in the middle, separate from. So tune in once again to that sense of home, of being held in that quiet, needless state. Doesn't need anything from us. If you're familiar with prayer, this is a similar format. Us in the middle reaching out. Seeking to feel connected with something divine. So allowing ourselves to do this, to reach out, but also to feel this spacious awareness within us, within that part or self that's here. It's not just around us. We don't have to just reach out. That quality can be felt within us. Most selves have a thought stream, an imagined past they feel belongs to them, an imagined future, even an imagined present. Whatever self you're occupying, just taking all of that in, letting that be a part, letting it fold into this overall experience that is around us. The thought stream of my past, my future, my plan. All the things I've done and said and that I will do, this momentum of thought, imagined action. Letting it melt in all directions into the quiet stillness of kind, welcoming awareness. And often a part or self will have a sense of an emotional narrative. It feels that these emotions are linear from our childhood to now. The color and tenor of our experience. Did it hurt? Did it feel good? And we can often feel that momentum in our body now. Collective emotional narrative of this particular self. So letting that narrative engage in the same letting in, reaching out process we've been exploring. That sense of my narrative story, my narrative emotional history. Even if there's no words or images associated, it's the feeling. Letting space enter that field, letting that field enter space. Letting that kind awareness in, and perhaps even recognizing that whatever it is we're reaching out to or allowing in, of course, we can connect with it because we identify with it. We know the experience. So for a moment, recognizing this kind awareness as part of us. Perhaps even our home, perhaps even our true being, who we truly are. For a moment, resting in the comfort and perhaps even awe recognizing that our true being is this spacious, open, kind, gentle, free awareness. And this is our nature. Letting the part that feels separate know and feel our true nature. Timeless, locationless, kind, spacious awareness. If we're practicing with the eyes open, continuing in this way, if the eyes are closed, allowing a tiny bit of light to enter the eyes, eventually allowing them to rest on a single point as they fully open. letting the spaciousness of seeing expand the spaciousness of awareness. Letting there be no real difference between inside and outside. And in this way, letting this particular moment be the great teacher. It shows us how we might bring this practice into every aspect of our life. Okay, looks like I'm a little frozen here. That's good. I'll just stay in that position. I'm actually just very still. I'm very good at what's that word? Ventriloquism. Let's fix this real quick. Did that do it? There we go. It's a little choppy, but there we go. Welcome, folks. Welcome back. Oh, that's not the one we want. Is it the one we want? No, I want close flipped. I don't know what the difference is there, but it's very slight. Okay. Folks, what was that like? What happened? What do you like now? Break out those digits. Write down your experience. What happened? That was a good one. I feel like sometimes my meditations are good. They're fine. That was a good one. That really did it for me. Okay, hit me, folks. Hit me with your best meditation report. I'm going to also open up the Discord if you want to jump in. Again, it's going to be a little shorter today. I only have about 20 minutes left, and I got to bounce. Discord is here. Let's jump into it. Here we go. What do I want to do here? I'm going to start a stage. Why not? Okay, here we go. We got Amuse Davis here to chit chat. Welcome. If anyone else wants to jump in, we're over here on Discord. We're going to chat with voice there. Hear questions, comments, queries, inquiries, challenges, and concerns. And if not, type out your reports. What was that like? I can help. I can support. But only if I know what happened for you. Okay. Dave, I'm going to invite you in here to speak. Let me know when you find your way there.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, thank you. What about you?
Well, I'm doing wonderfully, actually. Excited for an exciting day.
Meditation.
Great. How was it?
So, at the middle, it was hard to introduce that part that felt regret to the whole.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, I somehow did it, and it felt good.
Nice. Yeah, and remember, it's okay to be, because it happens where we are a self. It feels like we've occupied that role, and we want to get really used to that process of being like, okay, I'm going to actively occupy a self, whatever self is there, because otherwise we just do it and we're doing it unconsciously. So letting ourselves be this self, and then from there we're reaching outwards and we're saying, okay, like, support me, help me, as though we're praying. I use this idea of prayer. I had half a mind today of calling the stream, like, what's the difference between meditation and prayer, or something prayer related, but I thought, people get weirded out when you talk about prayer. But basically, yeah, this idea that in a way prayer happens when we're reaching out and we feel separate from, and so that in a way it's like faith is this idea that there is something out there we could reach out to, and the religious process is like, I'm here, this thing is out there, I want to reach that thing and have contact with me. And in a way, Buddhists are atheist in a way that is different than we think of atheists. In a way, it's like the premise is they're not separate. There's no separation between them and this divine thing. So sure, there actually in a way is a God, but everything is God. So there's no, to call it a thing that is outside of ourselves is unlikely to work. So the premise is they don't believe in a God because they are God. Everything is God. So it's a funny type of atheism, different than the just sort of like there is nothing, you know. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful.
My part wants to ask like that when I was meditating, the part was disappointed that it's not working out. Like I'm not feeling the hole, but that's just And I kind of felt the hole, but the part says I'm not feeling the hole.
Yeah, so this is something to remember. Something to remember is that parts of us, different selves operating within us, there's like one part that wants to be ambitious and get a bunch of stuff done, and there's one part that wants to like rest on the couch and take a nap. They only see their own view, and they only see the world from their own perspective. So they're always going to say I'm separate until they have until they can actually let go of their burden, let go of their duty, let go of their pain. What their experience of reality is that they are separate, and that a lot of their conflict is this feeling that they're separate. There's a way in which what internal family systems is it's using the sort of universal, unconditioned, divine, maybe you could say, but this sort of open, unmitigated awareness that is not totally unseparate, that is connected to everything, that is, it experiences the world as everything together, the whole. Using that horsepower to show the parts of us that think that they're separate, that think that they're divided, to show them the link between the two so that they can be free. And that's that's generally what we're doing in
So over time that part is gonna feel more better.
Yeah, and the way to get there, the path to get there, is just to let that part sit in with the awareness, or let the awareness sit with the part, and it's to think of it like a friendship making process, because a big core concept in IFS is friendship. So those parts are just chilling. It could be hours of time just chilling with the awareness right there, that kind, welcoming thing, and that part could be like, I don't believe it. That's not welcoming. You say, okay, cool. I hear that. That makes a lot of sense. We're not trying to make the part feel the whole. That can actually backfire. We just want to develop a friendship so the part can tell that we are here, our true being is here, and we're with the part, and we'll listen to whatever the part has to say. Like, what do you need to tell us? What would help? What would be? And sometimes parts are like, go to hell, get out of here. And so you just sort of back way off, and what would help you feel heard, and just be way over here, and just off in the periphery, the part's there. But it's just building a friendship over time is the best way for this part to feel more trust and feel like, oh, it could let go and step back a little bit.
I can see it will work out like that.
Yeah, it's good times.
Also, when I do the distance meditation, like I notice the space between my sensations. Like, is there any techniques to see that there's no space in between? Should I notice like two sensations and where they are, or like?
Well, what I would say. What I would say is that what you want to observe is that what the mind is showing you is that there is space between things. That's what the mind is saying. It's saying, hey, look, there is a space. And Dave's describing a meditation now where you close your eyes and you move your hand closer and further, and here it feels like it's further away, here it feels like it's closer, but it's actually the same distance from your body. There is no distance, it's 0 inches, but the mind organizes space based on the eyes. If it's close to the eyes, it's close. If it's far from the eyes, it feels further away. If it's above the eyes, it feels tall. If it's below the eyes, it feels short. It's creating relative space based on the eyes. So what you want to observe is not like, oh, that's wrong, because you just want to observe that is what it is saying. That is the data it is giving. It is close. It seems as though it is close. So look at that. Okay, it seems as though it is far. I see that now. You don't need to make it collapse, because just observing will make it break apart on its own. Just what is it? How is it showing you the data?
I notice when I move my arm closer to the face, it's different sensations appear, and the distance feels closer.
Yeah, distance feels closer, and there's at some point it feels almost like a pressure. Like I can. It's funny because there's not a lot here, and I can feel a pressure rising on my face, increasing, increasing, increasing. It's like it feels like
Yeah,
no, and that's emotional, right? So it's emotion in response to something that's getting too close, which
it's
is it's
subtle for me.
yeah, it's subtle. It's funny too because it's like our system is so, I don't want to say it's so dumb, but it's like it's so simple in a certain way. It's like trying to render a world to keep us safe, but it's like this is my hand. It's not a problem, and it's like rendering like some emotion on this side of the face that's like what's wrong? What's going on? Why is this so close? Just funny.
See, what do you think about like sights? When I observe sights, like for example bed,
Hmm.
and I try to see where's my body
Hmm.
between that bed and where's my body, the distance. And when I do that, I focus on sights and my sensations, and it feels like there's no, I don't know how to explain, but it feels like there's no outside.
Yeah. So what you're describing is a kind of merging. So you're using your visual data, and then you're watching, okay, if I observe this thing outside of me and I notice that there's a distance, that distance can suddenly feel like it collapses, and it feels like there is no distance, and there's
Yeah,
just this,
yeah,
that's a classic like merging experience. It's like a Zen does a lot of that, where you like look at a flower, for instance, and you just like become the flower. So
yeah. It's
yeah,
a really, really interesting experience.
yeah, and you'll also probably notice that self shuts down pretty dramatically, in that you just become the thing, and there's nothing but the
Yeah,
experiencing of it. Yeah, it's great. It's a
yeah,
great,
yeah.
great technique. Yeah, experiment with those things. It's a good time.
Yeah, I noticed that each meditation like observes as
Yeah,
much as possible represents data.
yeah, nice, awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for jumping in here. I see
Yeah,
no.
thank you as well.
Yeah, thank you. I see no reports, so that's fine. No pressure here. I'm going to pop you back into the audience. Oh, I see Nate is here. Let's pop Nate in here. Invite to speak. Hello, sir. Oh, you're invited to speak. You're not speaking yet. So when you, oh, there you go.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Not bad.
Great, great.
Um, I like the newish, maybe, sort of the method, I guess you had today for going from the um, no matter what, you're gonna get distracted. That's obviously that's a recognition that you're not gonna always stay looking at the whole. So
Yep.
don't beat yourself up when you start to get distracted. But I
Right.
really like the procedure that you came up with today. I haven't heard it in that. I haven't heard you say it this way before about going from there and then building back up
Mm-hmm.
to the whole,
Yep.
like an actual process of how to go from not just like you and every other meditation teacher I've ever heard. Hey, sensation, that was nice, and then smile and then go back to the whole, or note and then go back to the whole.
Yep.
I really like the process better of start from there, then feel the edges of that sensation,
Mm-hmm.
and then allow that to sort of funnel you back to the whole.
Yep.
It's even though on one side it seems more like more work, it's
Mm-hmm.
actually, well, today for me at least, it seemed even more effortless, which is
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
kind of the
basic.
whole point.
Yeah, it's
So,
basically
yeah,
we're using a little bit of awareness because we're used to that. Okay, here's a thing. It's very clear, and you sort of just a little bit around it, a little bit around it, and it's just sort of a slow move to the whole. And for me, it's very important to notice that connective tissue, because there can feel like there's this separation. There's this, whatever the particle is, whatever the distraction is, and then I'm going to jump in this big leap of unconsciousness to get back to the thing that I want to attend to. And it's like, why all this
yeah,
unconsciousness? Why not actually just be conscious and make the move out kind of like I think of it almost like a spiral, but you just sort of like move out to add more and more. And what we're doing is training our system that all the parts aren't like a thing to get rid of, so we can jump back to the object of meditation. They are a part of a whole. They are connected. There's a connective tissue. And even though this part feels and thinks it's separate, this is actually answering Dave's question. Even though these parts feel like they're separate, that you can feel the connective tissue that goes all the way there. So by building that circuit over and over and over again, And then we have a part that feels shame, or we have a part that feels utterly alone. We've done that so many times where we notice a cup and we see its connection, and we notice a sound and we see its connection to everything else. You go to that part that's like, I feel so alone, and the system already knows. It's like, but I know a path. And it shows that part, hey, you can actually find your way back to the whole. So it's not like a struggle to jump.
Yeah, and I feel like to novices a lot, often, because I've been a novice. I don't know if I'd say that now, but I've been a novice for a long time. I think we all are in some ways.
Sure.
But it almost seems like a magic snap of your fingers to get from the part back to the whole. And if you had a gun to my head, I would say most people probably don't actually do it. They think they are. It's almost like I forget who was telling the story, maybe Michael Taft or somebody about, or maybe it was Shinzen, about somebody talking to some guru and saying, oh yeah, I'm totally fully awakened, blah, blah, blah. And then the guru just completely crashed her whole world down by saying, are you not thinking about anything like right now? So we kind of fake ourselves out that we're actually at the whole, or something like that, when we're asked to go from the part back to the whole. Whereas I feel like this is actually a MOP, a method of procedure. I sell a lot of services for IT stuff, so a method of procedure to get from that part back to the whole, that if you internalize, you're actually functionally doing it, as opposed to guessing that maybe you're getting back to the whole.
Exactly.
In a way. So
I
like that new way you did things. So
thank you very much. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to jump. Thank you, Nate. That was great. I'm going to jump off. I realize my schedule I got a text. My schedule changed. I got to get off even faster. You too, man. Have a great weekend. I'm going to exit the Discord here. And I'm going to hit the outro music. Folks, lovely to be here with you. Wait, what did Dave say before we go? Dave said the following. Dave says,
you helped me on my path. In return, I would want to help you also. Like last time, I could advise something from viewer's perspective or help with video editing. Let me know.
Absolutely, folks. Thank you so much, Dave, for that offer. 100%. We would love to have your support. Anyone who wants to help, we have a really cool thing going here. It's really fun. So yes, we would love your help. Let's do it. Let's do some projects together. Right now, the project is going to be me getting out of here as fast as I can because I have therapy. Got to walk the dog. Okay, folks, let's listen to some music. So right now, listen to that music and see. Often music will pull us in. See if there's a sense of that music being part separate, part of us that's enjoying it, part of us that has to do our things for the day. And see if we can just include more and more data, include more and more sense experience until we can find our way to include those experiences and the whole. This is the path from part to whole. Folks, lovely as always to be here with you. I had a really great time today meditating. We'll be back here in fewer than 72 hours to meditate our hearts out. Thank you again for joining us. Lovely. And folks, as always, practice well, take care of each other, have fun, and we'll see you all very, very soon.